Hi, this is Mitch Randall at Good Faith Media, and we are at the Wild Goose Festival in North Carolina having an incredible time. And today we are with
Chebon Kernell.
And Chebon is a Muskogee Creek, like me, and has been doing some really good work this week at the festival. So, Chebon, why is it important for Indigenous representation at an organization like this?
Okay, no, just in case some of my relatives see this video.
Yes.
I am Seminole and Muskogee.
Oh, well, yeah, we got to get Seminole in there. Absolutely.
Make sure before I get some emails or.
Sure.
But no, in more ways than I even realize, it's important for Indigenous persons to kind of participate in the Wild Goose Festival because of the conversations that are taking place. We think about theological discourse, understanding God, understanding creation, is that how many times have we seen circles and venues that those conversations were without Indigenous peoples, Indigenous cosmologies, our understandings, not just for Muskogean people, but all Indigenous peoples, interpretations of what we see going on.
Right.
So when we come to a space like Wild Goose, we know that some of our participation is kind of limited a little bit, just because of ratio, all kinds of stuff, ratio of the human people. So opportunities that I see when I'm given this invitation, I say, no, we have to take it seriously because there are persons here too that are disgruntled and upset with what has happened historically with Christianity, but then how do we project a future of spiritual wellness for all the diversity of spiritual articulations, specifically and more intentionally including Indigenous peoples.
Right. And so that's what I want to talk about now, because you're doing some incredible work with the Land Back movement and other Indigenous causes. So tell our audience a little bit about the work you're doing among the Native American peoples.
No, I'm doing whatever I can to affirm, number one, the initiatives that we see locally with individual tribal communities, places that are out there. Wherever the door may open up where I'm invited, I try to affirm what I see percolating across the country. So you might think of a few years ago, Standing Rock. Our offices at that time went and helped to amplify some of the media. I think one of the things that when we were deployed to Standing Rock, the mainstream medias were not covering what was going on there. And so at that time we were housed in Atlanta, and so the United Methodist Church called CNN, which was also in Atlanta, and said, hey, this is going on, we're deploying our people there, it'd be a good thing for you to come. Now they did go about a day before we got there. But at least were a thorn in the side. That said, no, you need to be covering this. So when we think about these initiatives all across the country, especially as they increase in frequency, what I do is I try to monitor where potential areas of trauma and violence are taking place, and try to come in there as a person who is grounded in our ceremonial life, our spiritual life as Indigenous peoples, and say, this is why. This is why there's a concern, and this is also, here's a prescription for the future. That if we exist in this manner, that violence can end. And so I try to go to different places wherever that may be. And of course, the United Methodist Church has a lot of baggage itself that kind of takes my time. But I was just down about a month ago down with our Miccosukee relatives down in South Florida. I've been the past 4 years working in the city of Atlanta with the Wollonny Forest, just trying to raise the importance of how every acre, how every tree is important in creation. I just shared with the workshop here at the Wild Goose a moment ago that says that recent statistics talk about only 4% of this Earth planet is left in its untouched state. The rest of it has been interrupted by human interaction. So only 4%. So what that means is that every so-called green space is important in our lives today, as we need oxygen to breathe. We need all of these things. And so when we think about that, that there shouldn't even be a concept of green space. This whole earth is the green space.
Absolutely. So how can our audience find out more about your work, Chebon?
We try to do the best we can at the Native American Comprehensive Plan. That's actually who I represent within the United Methodist Church. We have our own website. We have our own Facebook page, Native American Comprehensive Plan. But for a lot of the cutting edge work that I do put that on my Instagram page. It's called, in our Muskogee language, it's Estajati, which is how you say native person. Estajati Lorax. That's where I put a lot of the things. I do cultural classes, I do teachings, I do events like this where hopefully that I try to do everything I can just to plant seeds that can help us. What I shared with the workshop is in hopes that we can change the trajectory of where we see the human species going right now.
Right. All right, before I let you go, I got to ask about that medallion.
Oh,
Tell our audience about that medallion.
One
man.
of the dopest medallions out there. This was made by my nieces. This is a reference to the Rebel medallion that you might see in the Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it has a feather. It's been indigenized because I want people to see it when I wear it and talk, because I'm a part of the rebellion and the resistance that's going to bring, hopefully, a little bit more well-being to our Earth Mother here. So it's a wonderful thing, and this is my first time breaking it out.
I love it. I love it. So, well, congratulations on your work. We follow you, and just keep doing the good work. So, Mado.
Mado de